Good morning, legends. Eldred here. It's about 6:39. I need to leave here in about 5 or 6 minutes. I'm meeting my buddy Paul, and we're gonna pick up the group. It's about 50 Fahrenheit today, which is about almost 10 C. 3 days ago, it was 26 C, which is about 80 degrees here. So the weekend before, it was 45. We can never get used to the weather for that reason. So I'm bundling up. We're supposed to wear our team jerseys this week. Let me show you what they look like. This is the UMC team jersey, but I can't wear this today. This is a summer jersey, very breathable. It's got like honeycomb in the material. It's just too cold for this jersey. So maybe the other boys will wear it, but I'm bundling up. Because if I tried to put that on, I'd be wearing a lot of other stuff over it, which would hide the kid anyway. So I decided to wear something nice and warm. I'm wearing this. This is a Rafa Brevet jersey. I haven't done an unboxing on this one. I've had it for a while. It's got some nice features. I may do a video of the Brevet jerseys. They're for long distance riding. You got a little pocket there in the back here in the middle that opens sideways. In fact, it's open. Let me close that. So if I were to take off my Brevet, that's where it would go. It would go in that upper pocket there and not mess with the pocket that I need to carry stuff. This is nice and warm. And I'm gonna go ahead and put on my Brevet. Move this camera up. This will block the wind. It's a very lightweight piece of garment. Got it on sale a little over a year ago from Rafa. Very, very functional. A light piece of garment that can make a difference between a comfortable ride or a cold ride. And it goes nicely. It picks up that black on this band here. That's why I got black. You can use it with a lot of different pieces of your kit. So you see that thing? It's a wind. It's just wind stopper. Just stops everything. The front is short, so when you're in the drops, you don't feel it. The back is a little long. See that? Covers you up. Nice, breathable in the back. So that's what I'm wearing. Let me go ahead and get dressed and I'll take you guys where to go. Just want to show you guys my kit. Bring this down. Bring this back. That's what I'm wearing. That's my kit. Castelli and the floor, very visible. My helmet's gonna be, my helmet's gonna hold the camera. When my helmet is holding the camera, I'm gonna put on a hat too. Let's see. So I just wanted you guys to see my kit. And I'm ready for the road. I'm taking you with me.
The sun's barely out.
It's cold this morning, guys. So I'm a little behind schedule. I'm supposed to meet Paul at 7:05. It's about 6:54. I got about 10 minutes to get up there. I don't know how it's gonna work out, but we'll see. So I'll turn this back on when I hook up with the
the wind slowed me down. So we met at beginning of the group. Paul was a few minutes ahead of me.
Go down to meet the group.
And this is where the group starts. This is near where the leader Steve Beasley lives. And that's where the ride starts.
It's cold.
it's cold. Some of the guys are not even wearing leggings, but they're wearing the group kit, which is more like a summer kit. So I'm nicely bundled up. I think I had too much stuff as I started heating up actually. And you can hear that wind. This time of year that we get a lot of that. That's Steve Neasley right there. He sets up the group. He's the guy who put this group together. UMC writers. Uno más cerveza. One more beer. So we got a lot of beer drinkers in the group. I drink beers from time to time. One or two tops. That's it. I'm done. Did that in high school. Been there, done that. I've moved on from that. So I drink beer occasionally. I like wine more than that. But I think it was just something they came up with. It's kind of cool. Because people always ask, what does UMC mean? That was the first question I asked them when I hooked up with them years ago. If you watch the speeds that we're doing here into the wind, Christian's sitting up there, and you'll get to see him. Christian's one of our legends, and he's pulling about 20, between 20 and 23. Most of this ride he was sitting up there pulling, and I'm still not warmed up. The lap timer is not working because at the end of the ride I filmed so much that the battery died and I didn't manually shut off, so the software thinks that I never stopped the ride, so it didn't calculate the lap time. That's why we have it on the display. We're about 45 minutes into my ride because I rode 30 minutes to beat the group, and then we came back, and I'm still not warmed up. I don't know what it was. My legs felt blocked today, so I can handle the pace, but I felt crappy for the first hour or so. Bob's going to push that traffic thing so that this signal changes for us. It's on the right there. And he's just standing there. I'm taking off my gilet because I'm feeling hot because it blocks the wind completely. And so even though it's 45, we're going so hard, my body's heating up, so I'm stuffing that bad boy in my pocket. So we have to push those little signals for pedestrians because it won't pick up bicycles. We just don't have enough metal for the little sensors they put in the concrete, in the pavement. Those lines that they cut, they put those sensors. Some of them are more sensitive and they can pick us up. So I'm moving up to the group here just to stay in some kind of shelter. And that's Paul. Paul here is one of our legends as well. Paul Ilonga. He's active, he posts on the board. Christian is in black. Look up there with the green helmet. He's also one of our legends. He's made one post he did last week. But he's subscribed. And he's pulling. And he explained why he was sitting up there. That's Alan. Alan talking about the wind. He's like, it's windy. I said, yeah, it's up there. He's got his time trial machine. It's the Velo P5, I think it is. So I moved up here after that exchange with Alan back there. Christian's pulling so hard, most of the guys don't even want to be near the front. Because you do get better shelter the further back you are in the line. So like rider number 2, rider number 3 doesn't get as great a shelter as rider number 4, 5, and so forth. You know. So near the front, you got to be more diligent. But I move up to the front so I don't have to close gaps. I'm moving up to Alan's wheel. I'm going to stay close. Try to stay within a foot. And even though Alan has a time trial bike, when he's in the line, he does not rest on the time trial bars. He's using the regular bars. that he's near the brakes. Because if you get on your time trial bars when you're in the group, it's dangerous because you have no braking and you don't have the control. So he'll only do that when he's at the front or if he's behind or off to the side or something like that. And that's the key, boys and girls. You take your clip-on bars and you go ride with the group. Don't rest on them when you're in the line. You need to be near your brakes just in case because you can steer better. It's not so much for braking; it's really steering. Christian's pointing out obstacles, and you see how effective that was. He pointed it out, and I moved to the side. I don't even have to see what he's pointing at. The fact that he points in that direction tells me to move away from it. It's better than yelling and saying "hold." And I talked about it in the group riding videos that I made. The right here gets a little dodgy. Alan had to hit his brakes because that white car on the right, we're not sure if it's letting us through, but he sits there waiting, and he could have gone. So Alan brakes right there. Then he waves us through. Alan thought the guy was gonna go because the guy had plenty of time to go, but he was sitting there being nice, and it threw us off. So we'll take it. Everything's cool. So right here, there's a hiatus because we're waiting to make sure everybody regroups through the intersection. I look back there, and the group's kind of scattered because the pace is hard, and we're going into this wind, and I don't think everybody's warmed up. I don't think I'm the only one who doesn't feel warmed up. But I know I'm better off staying close and letting my body catch up and whatever's going on with it. I slept for 4 hours the night before because I was messing around with my 7-year-old. She didn't want to go to bed, and I don't like to go to sleep if they're not asleep. Those crazy kids. Yeah, I asked Alan right there if everybody's there. He said, yeah, so we're resume riding. Yeah, I don't let the kids hang out if I'm asleep. I don't want them. They need to be asleep. I don't want them setting my house on fire. I don't trust them. And the mom doesn't care. I do. I want to know where they are all the time. When they get quiet, I get worried because they're into something. Those of you who have kids, you know what I'm talking about. They're little troublemakers. They're sweethearts, but they're troublemakers. To get in your stuff and make a mess. But anyway, back to cyclists. So you see Christian up there. I mean, he's just like a metronome. Christian is Italian, and he speaks and writes English and probably other languages. Since I met him, I've been trying to learn some Italian. So I've been going to Google Translate. I got a Italian-English book translator. So just to learn some of the things, because I hooked up with him on Facebook, and I like to be able to read some of the stuff people post, his Italian friends. So it's a Latin-based language, so it's not that challenging for me anyway. You can kind of figure it out. Look how smooth Christian is. Okay, he's pushing a pretty good sized gear into the wind, but if you watch, he's not all over the bike, just his legs. And look at Alan messing around his time trial bike. He did that throughout the ride. He was feeling good. He's going off the front. Christian doesn't care. He's just gonna keep drilling along, And I'm sitting in there and I'm like, okay, legs, where are you? Because even though the pace doesn't feel hard for me, my body just feels terrible. I'm sure you guys have been there. I just feel bad. I'm sitting there, I'm riding, and I keep my cadence down because I don't feel great. So I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna use my strength. This is just old tactics. I'm just in a gear, just rolling it, and I'm staying in the draft. But I feel just crappy. Like my body's like, forget you. I don't know what's going on. I can't get my heart rate up. Usually I want my heart rate 168, 170, then I start feeling great, That means all the pipes are open. But it's almost like I can't get my throttle bodies open, if that means something to you guys. But I'm staying near the front so I don't have to expend too much energy closing gaps. That's my reason for being up here. It's always smoother up there. But I want you guys to watch Christian. Look how steady he is, okay? Just rolling the gear, legs only. No rocking shoulders, none of that crap. Because that does not make the bike go faster. It's letting us know that some obstacle. A runner. Yep, there it is. A runner. That's how you do it, boys and girls. Hand signals as much as possible. because we receive it quickly, the brain processes it, and we just move away from what you're waving at. Because if you tell us, we're trying to decipher what you're saying. That driver let us go, we roll. This is an incline. Now watch. Christian is standing, he's not attacking. He's just standing to keep that gear rolling, so he doesn't waste energy or strain his back or whatever. That's all he was doing. We slowed down for that car, so his cadence dropped. And so he stood up to re-accelerate. That's what you do. Then you don't have to shift if you don't want to. And he probably used that opportunity to kind of stretch. Because by standing and doing what he did, you loosen up your body. I talked about it in my earlier videos as well. That's how you keep that big gear rolling. He's in a gear he can handle. So that's the key. He was slowing, but I knew this car was turning, so I rolled on through. Now, I don't particularly want to go to the front, and sure enough, Alan comes, and he's been messing around. He's feeling good. So I just go ahead, okay, I'm going to stay close to Alan. I'm still waiting for my body to tell me it's ready to ride. You know, the pace is reasonable. I mean, I'm in like zone 3, at the top of zone 3, and there's no way I should be feeling as badly as I felt. I was just feeling like crap. Now, right here, we got into zone 4. Now my body is feeling like my heart rate's going up. So I kind of like that because it warms me up. But I still just didn't feel great. And then my cleats were squeaking. And then you will hear it later. So all those little things, I was like, I hate those kind of things. I was wearing a different shoe today. Hadn't worn it in a while. It ended up being like a loose bolt in the cleat. It was just squeaking, but you know. It's one of those mornings. My body couldn't get into it. Right there. Listen to my cleat. Listen to my cleat. You probably can't hear it over the wind, but you'll hear it later. It squeaked throughout the ride. So I'm basically moving. I'm not accelerating too hard. I'm just moving up to Allen. About 23 right here. I'm just staying there. There's a bunch of people behind me, so I'll roll up to here. Usually I don't slow down that much at that corner. At this point I'm not really my old self. But look how close I am to him. I'm about maybe a foot. If you look at the wheel right here, I'm about a foot. And I'm even closer there. Look at that. I am staying close. He's down really low now. He's on his bars because he's leading the group. He's on his aero bar, so he's very comfortable. And so I'm on the hoods and just keeping my frontal area low. Of course, he gets off the bars to turn. And I'm staying close to him. Right there. Listen to my cleat. It's not as pronounced, but it's loud. I can hear it. I don't like any noise when I'm riding. There should be no noise from the bike or my body. And definitely not my knees. So he's moving. I mean, 22 into the wind. These are the kind of speeds I do in a time trial. Maybe 25 into the wind or something like that. You're trying to make time, and it's not fun, but this is hard. And so, you know, I edited some of Alan's pull, of course. He taps out here. And so I just roll through, same pace. Same effort. And that's the key. When you take over at the front, if you're in a group, just do whatever you feel like. I mean, if you're feeling great and you want to go faster, fine, but not too bad unless you're going to attack. If you want to pull the group, let the speed go up gradually so everybody can settle back in. Especially Alan has just taken a long pull. It will give him a chance to recover a little bit. There are no hard, fast rules, but unless you flat out attacking to get off the front, when you take over your pull and resist the urge to surge, just gradually. And right here, the wind seemed to pick up more. Watch my heart rate, 163. Watch the speed, 19. My heart rate goes up and the speed goes down to 18. I wave Bob through. That's Bob coming through. I didn't stay up there too long. I edited my pull, but I didn't stay up. And nobody's on Bob wheel. Nobody wants to be up here. So because Adam must have gone to the back of the group. So nobody's on his wheel. Now I gotta go up and get on Bob's wheel. And that's not what I really had planned to do. So I had to do a little bit of work. You can see my heart rate is 166, and I got up on Bob's wheel here. And I found out later that Bob felt like he wasn't warmed up either. So I don't know what was going on this morning. As I'm doing this video, guys, we're supposed to hit 80 degrees. This is Monday morning. We're supposed to hit 80 degrees, okay? This is early Monday morning. It's already in the 70s. That's how balmy it has gotten since Saturday. In fact, the day after this ride, it was in the 70s, the upper 70s the next day. We never get... So Christian comes to the front. I mean, he's been dragging this ride for like 10 miles or more. He's been pulling. And now he's back at the front. And you can see the speed lifts like a mile an hour here. I'm standing to just roll my gear and get up to Bob because I can use my upper body to just roll that gear. Gives my body a momentary relief from the saddle. You can hear the wind. I mean, it's just everywhere, the whole ride, every direction. Now, right now we're headed east. We go north, we go east, we go north, we go west. So it's a big circular loop. And I don't understand how every part of the loop had wind. Really weird. Christians avoided those cobbles. He stayed to the right on the smooth side like they're doing Paris-Roubaix. You know, Christians are very experienced, so he you know, those bricks that people lay, they're pretty, but they're not fun to ride over on your bike. It's like riding over a washboard. I don't know if those of you who are familiar with a washboard. It rattles you. That's why he rode to the edge there. Look at Bob's jersey. Look at the top of his jersey flapping in the wind. When that happens to me, I reach back and I grab the bottom of my jersey and I pull it down. Because that's drag right there. That's how windy it is. This kid fits it. There's a car back here. I back off. I don't want to get out of my cleat. So I'm backing off. They're not that far ahead. I'm just rolling. I'm timing the light. I can see the light from here. The camera doesn't show it very well. But the light is going to change because it's a short light. Once a car gets up there, it's green. And then I accelerate because I want to get up there before they turn. So even though I feel like crap, I'm still just riding. It's just like instinct. I'm just riding. And, you know, so Christian is up there. Now he's standing. I don't know if you saw that. He's standing to keep that gear rolling. This is a little incline into the wind. He just stood to keep it rolling and then he sat back down. Bob's digging here. You can tell. He's on there. Now watch how we stay close to this white line, because there's a lot of debris that cars when they drive, the draft or the wind of the cars push the debris to the right, and they end up just piling up on the edge of the road. So we try to stay within a foot of the white line. Two reasons: you stay out of the debris, and it's actually safer because you stay visible. If you ride on the edge of these shoulders, I'm letting them know about this bumpy part of the road here. Look, they just dropped pavement. You know, these guys that do the roads should take a little more pride. You know, they just plop down asphalt in any condition. It looks like a bunch of mounds of holes, like lava that cured. But what I was saying is, you see where Christian is riding. We're within 12 inches of the white line. If you're gonna use these shoulders, that's where you need to be. You need to be visible. Cars need to see you because you are part of traffic. You're just staying out of the main traffic. But you don't want to ride on the right edge of this pavement because you're not visible. They're not going to pay attention to you. You know, and I think that it's just not the best place for you to sit because there's usually a lot of debris on the right anyway. This happens to be really clean out here. But you see where we're riding. That's where you should ride. 12 inches to the right of the white line when you have a nice wide shoulder. And you see, this is not easy here where Christian is pulling us 22 miles an hour. We're going up a grade. It hasn't registered, but we're going up a grade into the wind. And this is just massive pulling. And my heart rate is like 166, which is just the beginning of zone 4 for me. And I feel terrible. And I'm like, this is not hard. Why am I feeling so bad? Now it went up a little bit. Now it's going up. So I guess I'm warming up. When I warm up, my body, my heart rate moves. There we go. 169. Now it's going up. So now you can see I move up a little bit here. I'm spinning more than anything. I'm at 90 relatively. And Christian's is muscling that gear he's in. But his upper body is steady. So he's obviously prepared to carry that gear. He's riding on the edge of the pavement there because there's a little dip on the right side here. It's almost like somebody chiseled something into this shoulder, and he doesn't want to go through it right there. There's a little dip there.
Careful, guys.
I'm telling him to watch the edge because the edge has a crack next to that white line in certain spots wide enough to grab your wheel. So I just stayed on the road here. We've got 2 lanes. I'm looking back for traffic. And Christian doesn't let up. At this point now, my body has finally warmed up. My heart rate's up, 169, and I feel better when my heart rate's up than when it's suppressed, and then it hits 170. So I'm finally warmed up, because at first my body was like in shutdown mode. So I pretty much just rode using my muscle strength early in the ride. I wasn't doing a whole lot of spinning. I didn't feel good. Because there are times, you've probably been there, if you're in a group where you feel like you're going to get dropped. If you shift up to a harder gear, as long as the pace is steady, you can hang on longer. I was never in danger of being dropped because this pace is not that hard, but I just felt crappy. It just didn't feel right. And that's why I couldn't figure out. If I had felt any worse, I probably would have let them go and just spun and caught back up with them. But it wasn't too bad. We have a split here. I just took the other entrance here. They're coming on the right side there. But we have a split in our group here. We're in the lead, and there are a few guys behind. So there's 4 of us here, I think. I think Alan. Yeah, that's Alan.
I didn't feel like I warmed up.
Yeah.
Felt my body feels real tight.
Right.
Real weird.
Yeah. That's what I felt coming over.
Yeah, I just didn't feel warmed up.
But
And Bob said that was good. That's a cyclist for you. We rode hard. He said that was good.
you got an extra year.
That's a good pull, man. That's a good pull. I have no legs today. I don't know why.
Christian's one of our legends.
Good pull. My legs feel like blocked.
Yeah.
Maybe later I feel better.
Finish just your last session of the month,
Okay.
just for power.
Okay.
And it's 1 hour now I try to
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then you have to maintain.
Yes. Yeah.
Two things you guys need to notice. Christian's unwrapping food. This is where you eat solids when you stop. You're not riding hard anymore. You get your body started. You get some fuel in the tank. But what he said was, he just finished a power phase and he wants to maintain. That's what that was about. And I'm going to take care of business. A cold morning, every 2 hours I got to pee. Get that out of the way because I don't want the group to start rolling out and I got to rush in there to pee. So when you stop, you got to focus. Pee, drink, eat, do what you got to do quickly. I don't even take off my helmet. No reason to. I'm focused on what I need to be focused on. I'm telling Alan this because, Alan was playing. I think he's warmed up.
I was telling Christian I have no legs.
This is Paul. He's
no
one of
legs.
our
I can't
legends.
feel my legs.
Paulie
I feel like
Longa.
they're asleep. The effort's not hard for
He
me.
said he
but
let us go
I can't get my
at
legs
some point.
to get going. So
on the way out.
maybe I'll take a.
See, everybody's eating. Everybody's stocking
I
up
never warmed up. That's what it feels like. It's a good pull.
because we got 2 hours plus to do.
I couldn't help it when my legs felt big.
When I reach this stretch, where I couldn't go anymore, how did I go?
Yeah. Yeah, he was going pretty hard.
Paul said he had to let us go on the last stretch there at the light.
That was a good pace.
So after the break, we end up being like group 3 on the road because Andy had a flat and I stayed and we helped him. And the group was impatient. When we finally finished, while I was getting my gloves and stuff on, we were all trying to get ready to go. They took off. So now we're rolling and we're having to chase, but I'm not really chasing to get back right away. I'm just riding because we're going to catch them. There's a few rollers and then so on the hills we make up time. So we're going up the first climb. You can see it's at 3-4%. These things are steep. They're not very long, but they're steep. And there's enough of them. These are the ones that we come back on the opposite way later in the ride. We're running there. They are right up there. And all I do is I just keep the distance the same because we'll catch them. There are 2 groups. Those guys we see right there, and there's a bunch of guys up ahead as well in front of them. So we're all spread out because we all rolled out at different times out of the lot. I edited it out here because it was a long pole and we were just riding. That's Ken. So there's a light up there and it's red. We usually regroup there, but you know, this is still a climb. It says 1%. It's still a climb. The whole thing here is a drag. So I'm sipping the gas, just rolling up to them because I see that it's red. Coasting right here. I think that's Paul. Yeah, that's Paul on my left.
This is the sleeve I was talking about. See how long it is? So you can put it, I like to put it under the glove. I can get no air under there.
Look at the wheels on this car.
How's that tire? Actually, it looks pretty terrible on that car.
Is that his?
He actually spent money for that thing. He thinks it's an upgrade. It's actually a downgrade. But he paid more money. Those wheels are expensive. Although they really make no sense. But
Yeah, the freedom of choices. So we're all back together. And one thing about this group, after the break, there was no gradual warm-up. We just go. So Christian again is sitting up there. We're about an hour and a half into the ride. My legs have finally awakened. They woke up right before that stopped. My body, everything felt like it was back, like my engine was warmed up. And so I'm feeling pretty good. Christian is sitting up there in black. I'm yelling at him to turn right because everybody's going so hard and Christian doesn't know the route that well. So he turned, then people stalled here. This is a grade right here. And I see him rolling off the front and I just give it a stick. You hear that wind. We turned west and it's windy. It winds everywhere. So I come up to Christian. Just gave me enough just to get on his wheel quickly. Because he did not attack. He just kept riding. You see it says 1%. This is a grade. It curves. It's windy. So it's hard. And there was a hiatus after that turn because guys were looking around. And that's all it takes to get a gap. So they have to work to get back in line. So you got to stay close to the people you're following. You see how close I am here. I mean, that's less than a foot. Probably about the size of a shoe. I'm just staying close. Christian's a smooth rider, so I'm not worried. I edited his pull. He just pulled off. He pulled for a long time. I had to edit it. So I take over and I'm doing about the same effort. That's all I'm doing. You hear my cleats? That's my cleats. It bugged me the whole ride. I hate that. I'm wearing a different shoe and all of a sudden, there it is. So I'm listening to that crap as I pedal. I hate that. I like it to be quiet. And Alan comes to give me a relief. I edited my pull too. And I'm looking down the whole time to look for wheels to see if anybody's there. As soon as I see a gap, I roll over. Watch this. I roll right behind John Beach. By doing that, I didn't have to accelerate. Because if you let a gap open too big, then you got to close it. That you save energy that way. You got to slide back in quickly. That's why you always got to be looking as people come by. You look a little behind to see is there another wheel there. As soon as you see a gap that you can fit in, you slide over. And by moving gradually, if anyone's trying to move up, they can see that you're moving. That's why you do everything gradually. No sharp corrections. Just kind of gradually slide over. Everything needs to be smooth. And then the other riders can see you and know what you're doing and have enough time to react or tell you, hey, I'm on that wheel or whatever. But everything needs to be done gradually. It's the sharp corrections that create problems. So Alan is obviously feeling good. He's pulling us along. Here's a slight downhill. Not much. Yeah, there's a flat road into the wind. We're going south, kind of southeast, and we still got wind. So we're going north, we have wind. West, we have wind. Now we're going south, we have wind. So we've completed the loop and we headed back the direction we started to ride in. Now we're going southwest. Look at this jacket on John Beach flapping in the wind. That's how much wind we're dealing with. Usually I tag this water fountain on the right. There's a lake right there, artificial lake. That's where the grade starts. It doesn't register, but we're going up a hill and it goes left. And it bites. And look at the jacket on John here, flapping. That wind is brutal. So I'm staying close. I'm in fourth position. Alan's pulling. He's on his bars. Bob's behind him. Now Alan wants to know whether we're turning or not. Straight. Now watch this. And he takes off.
Straight.
Bob laps right there. And watch the gap open. And this is hard. We're on a hill. And Bob's like, yeah, well, what is he supposed to do? So that was a moment of inattention. Once you lose that rhythm when you're going, and John didn't want to go up there, so now Christian goes. I'm like, okay, it's time. The train's leaving the station. You got to know when to make your move. But by expending a little bit of energy here, I saved a lot more. You see how closely I got to Christian's wheel because of that wind. You got to move quickly. If you're gonna go, you got to go quickly. Because you hesitate, boom, then you pay for it. So Alan pulled off. Christian takes over, and I'm staying within a foot of his wheel the whole time. And you can see how steady and smooth he is. He's in a gear he can handle. We're going downhill. You know. He's not overreaching. So even when it's your time at the front, pull for what you can handle. If you feel like you're going slower than the group normally does, just take a short, maybe 10, 15 seconds, pull off, or don't even pull at all. Just pull off, let somebody else pull, and you sit in on the back. So we're going to turn here, and it bites right at the turn. So I'm already downshifting to get ready. I told him right turn, right here.
Right here, right turn.
I shift down. Now watch. Christian will stand. You see? He's standing to keep that gear rolling. He didn't shift down, but he stood up to roll it on this grade so that he could get his momentum back that he lost when he slowed down the turn. That's how you do it. If you're not going to shift, stand and kick the gear, let it roll, and then see if you can still continue with that gear. So at the break, he told me he'd been working on power, so he's trying to maintain his power, so he's focusing on power. So he's using the group ride to work on things, and that's the way you should do. If you're going easy, that's not the day to go with a fast group. That's the day to go with your friends or ride by yourself. Use a fast group to push you. Mentally, it's easier on you. Turning right here.
Yes, right.
Christian is not super familiar with this, so I'm just confirming when he points. This is Macbeth. We turn here, and Christian taps out. He just slips to the left, because I'm kind of thinking he's going to pull off. At this point, I'm feeling like my old self again. So he pulls off. I'm moving over. He didn't have to say anything. I move through, then Alan takes off. I'm like, all right, I'm not chasing you. Like he always says, you don't have to follow me. So he takes off. He takes that corner aggressively. He rides that bike like it's a road bike. And that's a time trial machine, you know. He's moving on that thing. I'm like, so he's right there. There's a lot of cars. So he checked for cars. He slowed down a little bit. We got to check. We had to stop. See how narrow it is here?
Car.
So we have to use part of the road. I just skirted by it to get on the shoulder. When it's busy, we stay on the shoulder. If it's not too busy, yeah, we can use the road, but just stay on the shoulder. The shoulder's clean. It's wide. Why not? You know. And so I'm not planning on chasing Alan. He's up the road. There's a little dot right there where that car is. That's where he is. You can't see him very well, but that's where he is. He's not super far ahead because he had to slow down for that corner too. But I'm like, I'm not wasting my energy because knowing Alan, he'll probably slow down, and as soon as you get there, he'll go again. I'm like, I'm not doing this. So these guys come through. Christian moves on the left. I slip behind Bob. And, you know. I figured we'll catch Alan. I wasn't worried about it. But he's always messing around. When Alan's in good condition, he's always attacking and doing stuff, you know. And he went on the outside of Christian. So by the time I looked up, he had a huge gap. I'm like, I'm not going to expend the energy to close that. He likes those surprise attacks. That's the road racer now. So that's Alan right there in the red. He's right there on the right. He's in the red. He's in front of those guys. So what I do is I go ahead and increase my speed to about 23. This road initially goes up and then it levels off. Look at Bob's jersey at the neck. I don't know if you can see that very well. It's flapping. That's how much wind we're dealing with. And I asked them, one guy later, I said, how is it possible to have wind in every direction? You know? Now we're going kind of southeast, and we got wind all over the place. So Alan pulls off the front, takes a drink. Andy's at the front. At this point in the ride, I'm feeling like my old self, but I'm like, man, it took so long to warm up. I think I need to go to bed earlier next week. I'm going to tell my 7-year-old to keep me up. I slept for 4 hours. That was not good. My body didn't like that. So we stopped over here. This is where we begin the Flint Ridge Bergs, all those climbs. And usually, people want to play over here. Coasting. I'm waiting to see what the boys want to do. Andy takes the lead. John Beach is there. Bob is there. So I slipped behind Bob a little bit. We're just rolling. That car was not as close as it seemed. The boys saw him. Just this wide-angle camera sometimes gives you a different perspective. So I decided I better close up because that first little thing there's just a little bump. It's nothing. This one gets up to 4%. So this is a nice, tight one. And a lot of times if the boys want to play, they do. I didn't think Alan was going to do much here because he's got his time trial machine. And that time trial machine is a little hard in the hills to handle. It's not designed for a lot of attack style. It's more for, it's a speed machine. So usually when we ride the hills and he's on those, he doesn't really participate. And then Christian doesn't like to sprint that much. Christian says he's been working on his power. So I didn't have too many people to play with. So my plan right now was to just sit in, eat, drink, and finish out the ride. So we're just sitting here. We're going a lot slower than we usually go through here. It's been a tough ride. Everybody's tired. I'm kind of letting that car know thanks for letting us go through. They had the right of way there. Everybody's tired. I mean, Beach is pulling here at 17. He should just really, he stays up there too long. Let somebody else help you. There's a lot of guys here. I don't like to just take over the front. I like for the person pulling to decide, okay, I'm gonna get off the front and then you go. Unless there's a gap or something I'm trying to close or trying to attack. So Bob rolls by because he realizes this guy's going slower. I didn't want to follow Bob. I was just sitting there, taking it easy. And then it looks like he's just rolling away. So at this point in the ride, my mind's not really on these climbs or what's going to happen. It doesn't seem like. I know Alan wasn't going to do much in here with his time trial machine. He doesn't like to push it around too much in the hills. I think it has something to do with the way it rolls and the way it handles. So right here, I decided to go around beach because it's going slower and slower. Going up a little climb here. You hear my cleats. My mind was on that whole ride. I'm like, man, I wanted to spray water on it or something. And Bob waved me through. I'm like, I didn't even get a pull. Bob's like, I'm done. I don't want to deal with this. So I just roll through the same pace. We're going downhill here. And the wind is coming from the right and in our face. That's why I'm staying on the edge of the road here. And for those riders who are in the know, to give them enough room so they can kind of stay to my left side. But some riders will still follow you straight behind. No, I'm always looking for where that pocket of air is. That pocket of protected area. As the road starts to go up, I just keep the pace steady. So Neasley, this is the guy who sets up the ride. This is his group. So Neasley comes. And when Neasley came, Ken was cheering. Ken said, "Yo, Steve-O." But I decided that, okay, he wants a workout. Let him take us in. I figure if somebody else attacks, that's fine. I'm just going to sit on Steve. So I just sat in. You can see my cadence in the mid 80s. I'm probably in a 23, 21 or something. Wasn't a big gear, very moderate, like a 53, 19 or 21. That's probably what I was riding. Thereabouts. So those of you who know what those numbers mean, if you don't, leave your comments below. I can do a video on that. But that's the way we talk about the gearing we use. The teeth on the cogs. So Neasley takes us in. And it's not easy, my heart rate's been feeling suppressed the whole ride. So even though it's down, it's not easy. It's down because my cadence is down, I guess. This is like zone 3. It's a conversational zone for me. It's the tempo zone. So I tap him on the arm.
That's all I got.
It's good enough.
I just peaked my.
The wind's
My day
everywhere.
is just peaked.
The wind is in every
That's what I'm
direction.
talking about.
How is that possible?
We didn't get a break.
North, south,
So
whatever.
this, I had to wait for Paul and them. So this is after our second stop at the HEB. Now we're headed home. And so I'm rolling up because Paul had a loose cleat. Paul right here is one of our legends. His cleat came loose, so he had to stop and fix it. He called a light board that we made. So I waited for them after that stretch with Neasley. And just after we caught up with the group and after the break, we headed back home.
1 to 3. I have a church meeting today from 1 to 3. That church I'm helping that guy.
Oh, yeah.
They're one of the members of the startup group per se. So 2 hours every first Saturday, third Saturday. No, this is my second. It's right the State Bridge. That's where we meet. Not far. It's only 2 hours, so it works out. After that, I can start editing these clips. Car back. Coming around. My legs have finally decided to show up. Yeah. They came back in the Flint Ridge Hills, but I didn't feel like doing anything. It wouldn't have been fair. I've been sitting in most of the time. Just took a few pulls. So we didn't have a sprint today. We just rode. Easily took us up the final climb. Easily took us up the final climb on Flint Ridge. Yeah. We didn't have a sprint. You'll see it. I'll leave that in. Yeah.
My wife just sent me a text, so I was replying to let her know that I'm in the middle of an editing session.
Got 81 kilometers so far. 50 miles, that's good.
So we're about 2.5 hours into the ride.
Car back.
Mustard just came off the phone.
Go ahead, Mustard. Car back. Clear. Alright. I don't know, Mustard. It's cold, man.
Mustard is not
You're
talking,
up.
man. And the pace is on. I'm sitting there running my mouth. Mustard like, forget
Colder than
you.
last week. Definitely feels cold.
Mustard does not wear any leggings. He said he's got this layer of fat that keeps him warm.
Well, much today.
Like, well, power to you, man. It was cold. It got colder during the ride. We started in the 50s and ended up in the 40s. It was like 50 when I started and ended up being 46 when we finished. This was Saturday. Sunday was 77. That's 30 degrees. Not today. It's going to be in the 80s. You know, so. I don't know if you guys watched the Super Bowl, man. That was a heck of a game. That's the best football game period I have ever seen in my life. I just had to put that in there. It threw me for a loop. What a game. I'm not much for spectator sports, but man, wow. Just never say die. So the next time I feel like I'm getting dropped, I'm going to think about that Super Bowl. I'm going to just hang in there and do an attack. Yeah, man. That's the way to win it. Those boys. The Braves did not stop playing. The other boys just continued to make awesome plays. So over here, then we're back to cycling. Over here, I'm regulating. That's the caboose again. I'm feeling great. That's why I'm on the back.
Coming around.
I want to get a workout. You see the gap I'm leaving? I'm regulating the cars. I stopped the next car because there's no room for him to safely pass us wide. You'll see me stick my arm out. Then I move over because that car is coming and I spotted him inches ago. Then I wave him through. He acknowledges it with a horn, a tap. We got a friend. So now the next time he goes around cyclists, he will remember this exchange. He appreciated it because that was a curve. He couldn't see that car, but I could. And it's my responsibility back there to let people know. I'm waving more cars around because it's clear and I'm letting these guys know.
Car back.
When I say car back. Then I see the gap. I move up. So I'm feeling good. I move up. I want to give these guys a wheel because the gap opened because those boys twisted the screw. That's Christian, Allen, and I think John Beach. I'm not trying to catch them. I'm just trying to keep this group together. That's what I'm trying to do. It's like a chase, but keep it steady. So as soon as they let off the power, we'll be right back. So I only pick it up a little bit, 21. You know, because I don't want to drop these guys, 22. Just slowly let them get into some kind of a rhythm. Because all it took was somebody to leave a gap. With this wind, it doesn't take much. The pace is pretty good, 250 a mile. That's good pace. Then Tom comes around, and I guess we're not on the same page because he lights it up a little bit. I'm concerned about the boys back there, so I pick it up to get on his wheel. I mean, he's there. I might as well get the shelter. But I don't think he's thinking about these boys. He wasn't thinking what I was thinking. So whole time I'm a little concerned about the boys back there. Paul's behind me and he slipped onto my wheel. Paul's finally getting back into his regular training program after his back injury. So I know he's not in top condition yet, but he's decent. So there are a lot of cars. There's one coming, there's two coming into traffic. The guy coming stopped, so I thanked him. He saw us and he stopped.
Thank you.
And you know, because he had the right of way. You know, it's like sometimes the groups get a little complacent. You gotta handle that differently. So I'm always watching them go in a group, make sure everybody gets home safely. Christian's sitting up. I think he's eating. Yep, he's getting some out of his bag. He's eating. That's it. You carry your food. Get a little Ziploc bag. Put your food in there. Lunch on the bike. Eating on the bike. When you get home, you're not hungry, so you're not gonna binge. That's the way you do it. I had four banana bread on this ride. I got home with none. I ate one every 30 minutes. So my energy level was never low. Right here, I'm feeling really good. That's why I've been sitting on the back. So now I'm looking to see what we're doing. I don't plan on attacking anybody. I spent most of the ride feeling subpar, feeling that my legs are alive, man. I slept 4 hours. That was just not enough for my body. Messing around with my daughter. She didn't want to. She feels like she's missing stuff on the weekends. You know, I don't want to go to sleep. I try to keep them on the same schedule. It's hard to convince them. I like hanging out with their dad. We're going here. Those boys are moving. So I take a short, and then I cheat the corner here and take a short line, carry more speed. Alan comes around on my left. And I figure if he's going to do that, why should I work to get up there? So he comes around right here. I slip behind him. You can hear the wind. So that means they were doing about 21, 22. So we get up here. They weren't that far ahead. The camera just makes things seem further. You can hear the difference when I get behind Alan. It's quiet. Once you get into that little pocket, it's just a little quiet. Right there. Right there. And I'm always moving left, right. I want to see. I don't like to be directly behind people. You should not be directly behind the wheel. Stay a little to the left or right so you can see up the road, see what's coming. Because you don't want to ride blind. We got a turn coming up in about a quarter mile. And then it turns left and kicks uphill into the wind. The wind is now coming from directly in front and to our left, more so than anything. So Ken's up there, Tom's up there, Beach is up there. There's 3 of them, and then Alan here, myself. So there's 5 of us right here. We got a few riders behind us. I tell them, clear right.
Clear right.
And when Ken says fire away, I guess Beach took it literally. So he goes. I slipped on his wheel here. You hear the wind, and we're going uphill. And I decide, okay, let's really go. And I just stood up. I'm in a big gear, maybe a 15 or a 16, and I twisted it. Then I start to shift down right here. Shifting down, unloading my derailleur. And Alan comes, so I'm in a low gear, and I accelerate. That's the reason I shifted down. To get more speed. You can see he didn't gain much on me when he came around. But he saw me go and he figured, let's do it. And I'm within about a foot. You see how close I am with him. Right there. That's how you do it. When you're going hard, you gotta go close. See how quiet it is right there. Right there. Quiet. Out of the wind. centimeter or two to the right, centimeter or two to the left. I'm standing there just rolling my gear. I'm sitting, right there. And we're opening a sizable gap. I didn't realize we were going to open that much of a gap. We had a little effort. Well, I'm telling it little, but I like my heart rate up there. That's when I feel best. So I got to open the tanks a little bit. Even Alan noticed it. He made a comment about it. I told him, man, it's
cold, man.
That wind hit my face. It hit my face.
It never warmed up. I didn't think we put that much of a gap on them, though. That was sweet. That was sweet.
Yeah, Alice got warmed up.
I was just stretching my legs. I didn't warm up until after the first stop.
So we're waiting for them here. We're just backed up 18 miles an hour. We're waiting for them to get back. Boys are just playing out. Yeah, they're close because I'm giving the signal that it's clear.
Yep.
The Christian is back, and I think Beach. And I think the four of us stay off the front. But Paul let us go. Like I said, Paul's behind on his training. He injured himself. He's had his treatment, and he's supposed to ease back. So he's paying close attention to not overexerting because you do use your back muscles when you cycle. So he let us go on that stretch. We talked about it later. So I edited my pole. I was there for a while. And Alan comes, he goes through. The wind's coming from the left, so I pulled up to the left to give them shelter as they come through. And I'm drifting back. I'm not slowing down that much, just a little. Then I notice I'm watching to see if there's going to be a gap. You got to be attentive. We're going up a 5% climb. It's not going to show, but this is a short little climb by the golf course. And you can see I got gapped here, and then I got back on my power and decided to just ride up to those boys. This just says 4%, 5%. There it is. That's the first time I've seen this thing record correctly. That's a short little brute. Every time I finish my ride, I gotta go over that thing. Every day I go out to ride, I gotta come back over that thing. So sometimes I'm in my 39, 28, just rolling slowly up that thing. So I know that climb. It hurts. Well, you might as well get it over with quickly, I guess. That's what the boys think. So this is the way I like to ride. My heart rate is now 170, 171, 169 there. My body's like, okay, we're functioning. But it took a while. So I gotta make sure I get enough rest before these group rides. It's like, I can ride it, but I much rather feel like myself when I do. It's not fun feeling terrible and you can still do the ride, but it's not fun feeling bad. I hate that. But that's a ride, boys and girls. I ran out of power there. That's why I ended there. That's what I did on Saturday. I hope you enjoy it.